Yeah, I've got 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Please welcome our next performer, the godfather of the Harlem rock and roll scene, Joshua Baumgarten.
Yeah! Woo! Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you for being here. So we're all here. It's a good thing. First thing I'll read tonight is from a book I made a few years ago called Poetry, Modern Urban Hope. And this one, as always, goes out to my daughter Pippi, as I wrote this when she was a little infant. She'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I wanted my wife to be able to sleep, so I would get out of bed to take care of my daughter. It's called While the Baby Sleeps, I Sit Contemplating. I wonder how Anafra would feel about the Israeli occupation of Gaza, or how Moses would have felt about the chosen people settling in on stolen land, or if Allah even wonders what the Saudis actually do with all their cash. And I wonder too if Charles Manson would have been a little less high-strung a leader had he learned to play his guitar better and scored a record deal on CBS and moved his band of idiots from Topanga Canyon to Laurel Canyon and nestled in with Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, would all that helter-skelter murder and madness have been necessary? Now, if Hemingway's father had not committed suicide, would Ernest have been so trigger-happy for that bullfighting and bloodletting bullshit finally splattering his own brains upon his last page? Or if George W. Bush had been born in New Hampshire and only vacationed in Texas, would he have still been such a corporate cocksucking cowboy? And I wonder, too, if Pussy Riot had been an all-male band called the Cock and Balls Riot Brigade, when Putin had felt so threatened or maybe secretly aroused. And if Kurt Cobain had actually found nirvana in his own self-love and not self-destruction in Courtney love, then maybe, just maybe, he would still be alive today and Coldplay would have never happened at all. I wonder, too, if Christopher Columbus had actually been a decent explorer, would America have ended up in India? And would Disney World have been created at all? And if Martin Luther King had said in his famous speech, "I am living a nightmare instead of I have a dream," would racism in the world be looked at not only as something to overcome, but something that undermines us still? And I wonder, too, if Bill Clinton had only admitted to inhaling an infidelity, then maybe he would have brought a bit of honesty and dignity back into American politics. And if Barack had only backed Bernie and not tried so hard to hawk Hillary, then maybe, just maybe, America would have a fighting chance against its new fascist facelift. I scratch myself in wonder and amazement at the passive lives that we all live and all the bullshit that we allow to overcome us all. I wonder a lot about what the future will be like for my children. But lastly, I wonder why. Why is it so difficult for someone to replace the toilet paper roll when the last piece of tissue is torn from the cardboard roll? Fuck it. I say flush it all.
Whoa. Hey, fuck yeah. Here.
For the next one, I wanted to dig out something from a long time ago. I haven't read this one in quite some time, and it's published in probably one of the smallest books of poetry I've published. It's very nice. This woman out of Venlo, she made these smoking poetry books, and they're like all fit in cigarette packs. So, like I said, this one goes back a few years, but I think it stands the test of time. It's called Build That Mosque. I say go ahead and build that mosque. Close by Ground Zero with a barbecue pork pit across the street and a transsexual bingo parlor next door. Let's push toleration to its threshold. I say go ahead and build that mosque. Build one next to the entrance of Auschwitz, in the city center of Sarajevo, in the rebuilt middle of Dresden, on the sandy shores of Normandy, and in the middle of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Build that mosque in the middle of the ocean where the Titanic sank, in the grassy field where the Hindenburg crashed, in the Gulf of Mexico where the oil slick suffocates the sea life, on the banks of the Mississippi where Katrina roared her opera of rain. Build that mosque in the middle of Tiananmen Square where the tanks once went belly to belly with the students of discipline, rebellion. And build that mosque on the dark side of the moon where maybe Waters and Gilmore might get along for once. And build that mosque in every shopping mall from Hartford, Connecticut to Orange County, California, in the middle of Waco, Texas, where the Branch Davidians once roamed armed to the teeth with Bibles, incest, and automatic machine guns. Build that mosque in the middle of the White House so Obama can secretly pray and preach from the inside out. Because you all know that he ain't no Christian, and surely he ain't no real red-blooded American. And build that mosque in the Alaskan trout mouth of Sarah Palin and gag that fascist conservative bitch, reality-serving bitch having fascist conservative reality series having tea-begging bitch till she is blue in the face. I knew the bitch was in there somewhere. Build that mosque on the top of Mount Rushmore in between the heads of Lincoln and Roosevelt where freedom was once the cobblestone of the ideal America. Let's build that mosque inside Lady Gaga's ego. In between Oprah Winfrey's or Patricia Pie's sagging tits, build a mini mosque on top of Van Velsen's oversized forehead and one extra large mosque of Kurt Wilder's white bread gunk cost Freakendale S. Let's tear down every McDonald's and build McMosques in their place to serve fast food Qurans and goat milk milkshakes. Let's build that mosque in the middle of the Amsterdam Arena, in the Efteling, in the Burger Zoo, in the middle of Disneyland Paris, in Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch, under the Arc de Triomphe, on top of the Eiffel Tower, in Carla Bruni's overcrowded bed, and one of Sarkozy's big fat French nose. Build that mosque on the island where the gang from Lost used to be found, and just go ahead and build that goddamn mosque close by Ground Zero. Because we all know that it's supposed to be a community center anyway. And it's not like all those churches or synagogues have done us much good either.
Oh my God.
This next one I'd like to read was just published online by Rough Night Press. They're not here tonight, but thank you. Anyway, it's called Leave It As It Should Be, Not As You Think They Might Like It. Leave the dictators to their piles of dirty dishes, the fascists to their fascination with fractions, and the conservatives to their unhealthy concern for Kabbalah. Leave the liberals to their lizard skin collections, the professional athletes to the contemplation of their own lifespans, and the orphans around the world to their opinions about single-use plastics. Leave the garbage men to their cherry picking, the politicians to their arguments with their spouses, and the Hollywood elite to their ever-increasing lactose intolerant. Leave the poets to their Rubik's Cubes pastimes, the songwriters to picking pistachio nuts from between their teeth, and the exotic dancers to paying back taxes. Leave the junkies to their double Dutch jump rope, the professional bowlers to their Budweiser blue balls, and the weekend warrior badminton players to their uncircumcised shuttlecocks. Leave the high school teachers to their stock investments in Kevlar, the lunch ladies to their frozen pizza preservative Fridays, and the school bus drivers to resisting every impulse to drive off a cliff. Leave the Mexican day laborers to their salted margarita daydreams, and the Orthodox rabbis to their all-you-can-eat kosher buffet at the Crab Cake Factory, and the Mormons to their insecurity when it comes to eating Swedish meatballs. Leave the neo-Nazis to their needlepoint swastika pillow making, and the Muslim Brotherhood to their bow-tie community-controlled chaos, and the Hare Krishnas to their hopscotch game through a hostile universe. Leave the punk rockers to their safety pin conformity safety net, and the hip-hop heads to their 8-point Scrabble word score for the N-word, and the country music fans to the chewing gum stuck under the seat at the Grand Ole Opry. Leave the barbers to deal with the insecure vanity of all the white boys with beards, and the tattoo artists to all the misinterpretations of life that a person can persuade into their own skin, and the piercers to all the loopholes in life that may help another just to get over their hang-ups. Leave the storytellers to their fabled lives of imaginary nobility, the acoustic guitar slinging troubadours to all their songs strung out on catgut, and the burlesque dancers to all their belly buttons filled with boa feather dust. Leave the newscasters to their Muppet-like open and shut mouths, the journalists to their fear of being murdered and their graves labeled fake news, and the talk show hosts to the horrors of polite silence after midnight. Leave the shopkeepers to ponder what to do with all their extra stock, the cafe owners to all the empty tables waiting to be occupied by cockroaches, and the fast food franchises to their pockets full of cash smeared in human fat. Leave the gods to their congregations buttoned up with fear, the choirs with their vocal cords strung like nooses around their necks, and the atheists to believing that they have all the answers. Leave the universe alone to manifest its own mayhem. Leave the distant planets as uninhabited as they currently are, and leave the future of humanity a whisper of peace and success, with sorting out the mess that all of us up until now have scrambled into tiny little pieces of asbestos. Thank you. When I asked my wife what she wanted me to make for dinner, I already had this in mind. Canadian bacon and circumcision, the Palestinian Authority and pulled pork, kosher pickles and predatory predilections, coffee Danish and the slow destruction of democracy, cosmetic surgery and a slice of pepperoni pizza, Dunkin' Donuts and moral tooth decay, spaghetti bolognese and human slavery, carpet bombings and baked Alaska grilled cheese and a rack of golden teeth, pastrami on rye and the Nazi party, bank fraud and an everything bagel with vegetable cream cheese, pierogies and polygamy, chicken cacciatore and chaos in the streets, hashtag Me Too and deep fried mozzarella sticks, hush puppies and the Pulitzer Prize, hot butter popcorn and healthcare coverage, corporate drug pins and clean drinking water, caramelized apples and serial killers, walk to walk and Geert Wilders dandruff, gummy bears and going through the motions, denuclearization and dim sum, vanilla milkshakes and venereal disease, hormone-injected hamburgers and black tar heroin, suicide hotlines and turkey hot dogs, fish and chips and reconstructed vaginal lips, pork chops and political hand jobs, anal beads and Fox News news feeds, mushroom risotto and the good old reach around, eggs Benedict and the immigration invasion, God bless America and low-fat ice cream, buttermilk pancakes and presidential tax evasion, prime rib and abortion, minimum wage and wagyu beef meatballs, vegetarian burritos and bulletproof backpacks, chicken fried steak and the Space Force, alimony payments and roast suckling pig on a spit, personal space, and oh, just please give me something goddamn cold to wash this all down with.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I need a beer now, though.
Thank you for your geduld and your patience and listening. Zijn er wat Nederlanders in de house vanavond?
Nee hoor, nee.
Ja,
Nee,
hoor.
absoluut niet.
Geen-
Alleen maar ik wel.
Mooi. En in het Nederlands. Ik ben een jager. En ik jaag graag op jongens en meisjes die een jas dragen met de bontkraag. Ik wacht bij de kermis op het plein met zicht op het bootottertjes. Het is bijna middernacht en de mist hangt over de gesloten attracties. En in de verte zie ik mijn prooi. De rode punt van brandende marble lights hangt in de lucht. En ik weet dat zij daar zijn. Ik zie de witte lampjes van de brommers en hoor het irritant geluid van meerdere brommers op de weg. Ik adem in en uit en luister. Ik hoor het stoer praten van tieners, de gillende stem en het gegichel van de dames, de brutale stomme lach van de nog jong mannelijke variant. De jongens proberen elkaar uit te dagen om de meisjes te overwinnen. En Bacardi Breezer fles is kapot gemaakt en een vechtpartij breekt los. De politie op het plein is bang en doet niks. De politie doet niks. De mannen en vrouwen in blauwe pak blijven op een afstand. Ik maak mezelf klaar en ik kijk in mijn vizier. En ik wacht op een goed schot. Voor ik ben een jager. En ik jaag graag Op jongens en meisjes die een jas dragen met de mond kraag.
Mooi,
Dank je.
mooi.
Ja.
Helemaal gelijk.
I want to read just a few more, if that's all right with you folks.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
okay.
good.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Sailor promised me a half an hour, but I thought that could be a bit indulgent. We're here. This is the poem that my I changed the title for this one. Yeah, this is the poem that my 16-year-old son will hate me for reciting. First and foremost, if she says no, then it's no. There's no such thing as blue balls, and even if there were, well, then when you're alone again, get familiar with your right hand, for it will be your best friend forever. Complaining about wearing a condom is done by selfish, stupid people who don't actually care about where they stick their own dick. Hashtag own your own penis. When I asked you to take out the recyclables, it was not that I wanted to be a pain in your ass, but only to get you used to the idea of a boss who will be a huge pain in your ass if you don't do what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it. That if you ever want to smoke some weed, please talk to me and let's smoke some of that homegrown kush and not some of that skanky Dutch weed. For ecstasy is over and speed, well, what's the rush? Coke will only make you a prick with a shriveled little dick. Be nice to your sister now and she will be there for you later. Love your mother, respect my wife. Eat patat outside during a downpour just for the pure pleasure of doing it. Having no rhyme or reason is sometimes just fun. And spend time in close physical proximity of your good friends. For online is fun but can never ever be as honest and intimate. Success is not to be measured by how much money you have in the bank, but by never actually having to work for one. Alcohol always has a consequence. See your Uncle Evo for more info about that. Wrong or right, be the first to apologize after an argument or a fight. This way you can just get on with your life. When you let things linger, you create your own cancer. Learn how to cook for yourself and at least one other person now that you are still young. It will be a skill that you will cherish when you are older. Doing your laundry will liberate you from your own childhood and keep your parents out of your personal space. And checking out another dude's junk in the locker room of the gym does not make you gay. Well, it doesn't really not make you not gay either. But just curious about the world around you. For every penis is different. And never, ever be ashamed of your own body. And any doubts about any of this, just revert back to hashtag own your own penis.
I don't have one. Thank you. I was lacking that vital organ.
Nou, even meedenken, even...
I'm just bullying.
Oh, please bully away, it's all right. Us poets don't get heckled enough. Should we go for a marathon one? It's a bit long. But then this will be my second to last one. Yeah? And cool. I'm originally from the United States of America, originally from New York State. Maar ik woon hier in Nederland voor de laatste 18 jaar. Dus ik zit een beetje dubbel. Ik werk naar DS ieder jaar. En ik voel thuis. Maar ik ben niet thuis. Dus als ik terugkom, ben ik thuis.
Nou, dat wil ik.
Nou hier.
Oh, hier, oké.
Ik woon in Harlem. Een mooi leven daar, opgebouwd. Harlem. Double A. So, I think that's
Anders denken wij ook aan New York.
Ja, precies. Ja, nee. Nee, ik woon hier, up the road, just that way. But I do have genuine concern over what's happening in my country, where I was born. And that's why I wrote this, because I'm worried about white America. I'm worried about white America and a genuine concern for their children filled with Ritalin. I'm worried about white America and its pubertal lashing out against an aged Europe. I'm worried about white America and wonder if its super ego can handle its own id. And I'm worried about white America, its apple pie filled with nationalistic maggots. I'm worried about white America, its religion riddled with bullet holes. I'm worried about white America and the way that the flag is coming apart between the stars and the stripes. I'm worried about white America breaking its neck as it falls down the ladder of success. I'm worried about white America, its cornflakes drowning in hormone-infused milk. I'm worried about white America, its befuddled suit and tie arrogance. I am worried about white America and what will happen when every coal miner's daughter becomes the transgender son of a solar panel salesman. I'm worried about white America over-medicated, opiated, and foaming mad at the mouth. I'm worried about white America and their overinflated ideas of their own self-relevance. I'm worried about white America history caught in a hiccup of hate. I'm worried about white America still blaming the Jews for being smarter than they are. I'm worried about white America at home at Walmart while still rather oblivious to the common market. I'm worried about white America and its constipated national pride. I'm worried about white America choking on a piece of humble pie and the Mexican busboy trained in the Heimlich maneuver who chooses to just walk on by. I'm worried about white America feeling like a sexually assaulted orphans in a Catholic church. I'm worried about white America forfeiting insight for illusion. I'm worried about white America drunk on power and behind the wheel of a steamroller. I'm worried about white America children of the commodified corn. I'm worried about white America poison and privileged Ivy League disease. I'm worried about white America and how they will react when they realize that they are already half Chinese. I'm worried about white America and the NRA courting gay America to stockpile arms against Islam in America. I'm worried about white America brewing IPAs that taste like finely crafted piss. I'm worried about white America binge watching reruns of Friends and then realizing that they no longer have any left in the world. I'm worried about white America and how they will feel when they wake up and find that all the baloney is gone. I'm worried about white America not being able to figure its way out of the White House escape room. I'm worried about white America and how they will react when they realize the fact that Ellen actually is a lesbian. I'm worried about white America and if they will accept a black James Bond. I'm worried about white America and the insecurities that they may suffer when the Martians deem them subservient. I'm worried about white America and any injury that may occur during the revival of line dancing. I'm worried about white America feeling dejected when it is deemed that they are no longer in charge. I'm worried about white America and the bewilderment that will be felt when the genetically modified chickens come home to roost. I'm worried about white America and how nobody gives a shit anymore about who the fuck John Wayne was. I'm worried about white America and the cancer-causing agents associated with beauty pageants. I'm worried about white America and God finally giving up on them. I'm worried about white America and the heartland needing a triple bypass. I'm worried about white America and who will they choose to blame next for their shortcomings. I'm worried about white America being too happy with itself. I'm worried about white America always wanting to be black, but without any of that baggage. I'm worried about white America being outsourced to Moscow. I'm worried about white America and who will be the next year's Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue cover girl. I'm worried about white America being the canary in its own coal mine. I'm worried about white America and its sweaty palm hovering over the universal goodnight switch.
All right. Oh, yeah.
So, thank you all for your time, your listening, your geduld. I want to finish it with this one. This last one I want to do necessitates something that I think from seeing what happened with Renee and the band, we're all pretty okay and comfortable with. It's a small, intimate environment. It's something I know most people dislike, but most Dutch people can handle it because if you're fans of Kensington. If you're not, well, it's a little bit of audience participation. It's a bit of a sing-along or a may-do. It's one line. Trust me, we'll pick it up as we go along. And if we do it all together, it feels so warm. It's nice. It's good, right? Okay. Because these are the don't be a dick about it doctrines. Be a good person. Be generous and share what you have. Accept your mistakes, apologize for misunderstandings, listen to what others have to say, develop opinions about facts, learn a trade, work hard, excel, but don't be a dick about it. That's your line. Forge relationships and be a good friend. Recognize yourself and others, accept compliments humbly. Give people compliments every day. Feel empathy for others around you. Being sympathetic is a virtue, but don't be a dick about it. You guys are great. Fuck this. Become a good partner and be loyal and trustworthy. Responsibility is noble, and love is about the effort that you put in. Stimulate the growth of one another. Stay true to yourself, but don't be a dick about it. Come on, Renee. You got it. You're right.
I'm a slow learner, but go on.
We got a few more verses. We'll be there. Raise a beautiful family. Be a loving and nurturing parent. Spend time playing with your kids and allow your children to make mistakes. Inspire your offspring to be unique. Instill life lessons and a sense of morality. Give instruction and be proud. But don't be a dick about it. Not feeling it. Make judgments. Don't be judgmental. Be honest, not brutal. Don't lie, but learn how to shade the truth when needed. But don't be a dick about it. Develop a dynamic taste in music. Ripen your palate for fine foods. Sharpen your eyes to detect art. Nurture a sense of independence. Enjoy going to a movie alone. Learn how to be patient. Say please and thank you. Mean what you say. Do what you mean. Just please. Whatever you're going to do. And we got a big fucking week and a half ahead of us with Christmas coming up around the corner. And then, all this time in between. Everybody's sort of on edge this time of the year for some fucked up reason. Looking around here, I think it seems like everybody's got it under control. So keep it that way. And be gentle to those who don't, because they need the love the most. So whatever you do, go out there, be good people, but don't be a dick about it. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you. Now I love a little glass of red wine.
Of course. Ik was always hungry for some.
Awesome.
Not at the moment. No, I do. We have a band. If you look up the Irrational Library on Spotify, then you can find our music. And then, some of the text I did tonight is with that. Thank you.
We have another reading coming up by Brew.
Then you can find sort of stuff. I also have a blog.
If we may have your attention and
use Facebook.
Thank you.
Nice
Really
to be
enjoyed
here.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also,
First of
not
all,
only the
I'd
host,
like
but
to
also
thank
the way you bring it. Thank you.
Jena werd contacted today and I was actually invited. Ik kan ook Nederlands, maar ik kan niet in het Nederlands schrijven, sorry. Ik was een beetje jaloers op hem. Hij is native speaker, maar ik kan toch in het Nederlands. Ik schrijf haikus in English. Ik noem het gewoon haiku-like short poems. En ik schrijf ook gewoon 3 verses. Ik begin met een paar haikus en dan gaan we verder. The theme is mostly about nature and human nature. Sorry, no politics.
I think we're quite enough.
But sometimes. Okay.
We had our share.
Yeah.
Haikus first. Oh yeah, do you know what haiku is?
Yeah.
It's actually Japanese
Yeah.
poem. Mostly, in Japanese consists of 3 verses of 17 syllables totally. 5, 7, 5. But we write in English, it's a little bit different. It doesn't have to be with 17 syllables. Okay. Shining sun unveils myriads of fish and coral into a dewdrop. A traceless snail effortlessly carries the burden of homelessness. While uncertainty is pouring, I take shelter under a mushroom. Gazing at me, longing for a one-night stand, the bright moon. As a polar bear cub dreams of an iceberg, so do I for love. University of life. Even a cricket is a lecturer. The wind comes and blows through a creaking door. Musicality of life. The flower season ended fruitless. Alice. Bees did not return. Once upon a dawn, man was the crown of God. Now he is dead. Telephone and bicycle. A bang smashes the silence. Curious crowd cries. Now I'm sorry for the lover of fireworks, as I'm extremely for environment. I have a children poem, so I put myself in shoes of a little child. Fireworks. So, without asking, please don't play with the fireworks. Sun does not want to shed smoky tears. Sky does not want to be suffocated. Trees don't want to cough. Streets don't want to lose their sight. They all want to breathe and be left at peace. So, without asking, please don't play with the fireworks. Dogs, cats, hamsters, birds and babies cannot complain explicitly. Nevertheless, they don't want to be shaken and terrified. Peace and tranquility are their innate right. So, without asking, please don't play with the fireworks. Money does not want to be wasted. Hands want to wave, work, and write. A love letter, maybe, for instance. Eyes want to indulge in seeing the cherry blossoms. Windows want to smile openly. So, without asking, please don't play with the fireworks. Instead, enjoy the shining eyes of a cat. Embrace the bright, beautiful, burning flame within yourself. Love your inspiring inner voice. Instead of deafening and blinding explosions and noise. So, without asking, please don't play with the fireworks. There are many ways to celebrate the moment joyfully. But buy chocolates for a disabled child, or a plant for a lady, or a small cottage for a homeless bird, or adopt a tiny tree or a leopard cub. Or at least purchase a book for yourself. So, without asking, please, I'm asking you not to play with the fireworks. Thank you. Thank you for your time and patience. No fireworks.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to read?
Nothing to read.
Nothing to read.
Can apparently, but I don't read a lot.
Nobody at all. Okay. Then we take a 10-minute break.
Maybe this guy
Yeah.
will stay somebody return.
You got some stuff? Think about it for 10 minutes and
Think about it while I pee.
exactly. Perfect. No piss on stage. Strictly spoken. Thank you.
Oh, serious.
Don't play with fire.
Hey, noise, Mike. No, I do what? That's my problem. I like the view. But like well organized.
Surprising. Surprising, yeah.
I like it, you know. When I hear Paul, I close my eyes. When I see a movie, then I'm really enjoying it.
Very much.
Good.
Yeah.